Can using cliched elements in a new way make a series good? For example, we take a bit of the cliche of sent to an RPG world with RPG mechanics integrated into it. Check. Then a harem of different women with different backstories and motivations. Check. But let's add a large amount of suffering and misery into it. What do you get then? Welcome to ReZero, starting life in another world. The story starts with our main character, Subaru, getting some groceries and then getting sent to a fantasy world. Wow, that didn't take long, did it? So he meets a beautiful princess, promises to find something that was stolen for her, and then dies. Well, show's over. I need a drink. Actually, Subaru does have a magic power. Returns by death. Every time he is killed, he is sent back to a save point. He has to do the situation all over again until he survives it. So Subaru follows the princess around and gets into hijinks around the kingdom while trying to survive until the next week, with plenty of suffering. It's become a popular thing to do in anime, to take a cliched idea and then put a bit of realism into it. Kind of like a certain magical girl show that was released a few years ago. Now, what really interests me about the show is the respawn angle of the plot. Imagine if every time Mario died, he felt all the pain and the death, and then he had to do it all over again with the memories of his experiences. Imagine that with Subaru, over and over and over again, because this pain train has no brakes. Just remember, this isn't your Pokemon-like series. We see our hero trying to get to the end and survive and save everyone. I just love that part of the plot, the amount of mental stress it puts on Subaru and how it keeps breaking him. Kind of reminds me of another show I love. Oh yeah, Steins Gate. They have the same studio, they both are about time travel, also badass colons.
It's so cool! Son of a bitch!
Except more focus is put on the time travel and the politics, sometimes. Like how there are Game of Thrones styles happening within the kingdom and how Subaru always being there to steer them in crazy directions. Though now for some criticism, Subaru took forever to realise his powers. Put the pieces together already. Speaking of which, the first arc is slow. Thankfully, the show does pick up after it and runs with a great story and a great cast of characters. Speaking of which, let's start with Subaru Natsuki. I really like this gamer sent to a fantasy world. Now, he may look like just another generic main character, but he's more than them. He doesn't just pull answers out of thin air or a stupid power-up. He just uses the knowledge given to him by his powers and tries to save everyone, even though he sometimes makes stupid decisions. Subaru goes from misery to angry to chained up. Just remember,
all it takes is one bad day.
But he is one of my favourite recent protagonists in anime. Take that, Yuri! Emilia. She has a nice smile. I liked her character, but wish the story had done more with her. It was interesting having her look like the witch and everyone being scared of her. The demon maid Rem. Best girl. What? Rem just got the best character development out of the harem. That's mostly because she spends the most time with Subaru. I just wish the other girls got more development. Like this princess, and this maid, and this lolly. I will say that episode 18 was my favourite episode of the series because of the conversation between Subaru and Rem. It is 20 minutes of them discussing their place in the world and what they should do next. Just a beautiful episode. I loved it, though I will say I actually did like Ram as well. Also, this normal woman.
It's a trap!
The animation was freaking superb.
Oh my goodness!
White Fox. I love their work, except I can't make a kill. I can't wait to see what they do next. My favourite part of the music was the first opening. It was so awesome with the singing and the animation just blended perfectly together. Then I cried when it was changed halfway through. Also, the Japanese cast did a really good job. Yusuke Kobayashi, Inori Minase, and the rest of the cast did really damn well. Special mention goes to Yoshitsushi Masioka, who played Betelgeuse. It's so funny how he's famous for playing a dull, boring character, and now he's just playing one of the most insane characters I've ever seen. He's like Dennis Hopper in the Super Mario Bros. Movie.
Monkey!
So, what do I think of ReZero? It's one of the best shows from last year. Sure, it has its flaws, but I still think it's worth a watch. Sure, it has a read the source material ending. I really hope we get a season 2, but what we got was pretty sweet. Amazing animation, great story, but most of all, awesome characters. Go back to Zero and give it a watch.